Greetings all you beautiful people and welcome inside to League Unlocked. My name's Eric and first thing we gotta say when we start off this show is that Mark is not in studio and he's not going to be for the next little while because he's heading over to South Korea to cheer the boys from Fnatic, Cloud9, and G2, all the Western teams. He's going there in person to catch out some of the games. Hopefully, we're going to get some videos from him and various content of him being in South Korea, but he's not going to be here for the next little while. He's probably on a plane as we speak because those plane rides are 500 hours to get all the way to Korea because you're going across the world, but that means you're stuck with just me in studio for today, and I know that's a disaster for all you guys watching. But here we are on a Thursday, and we're going through the All-Pro squad from the group stage because we are done group stage action, which means we look back. We're going to maybe do MVPs for each group, but decided instead to settle on 5 and go with the standout performers from each role across the group stage. And what better spot to start than in that top lane where you've got a rookie from the Challenger team, Academy team. He won Rookie of the Split. Everyone was worried he couldn't fill the shoes of Impact in that top lane for Cloud9, but me oh my. Licorice has done a whole lot more than fill the shoes of Impact. He has gone toe-to-toe, head-to-head against the very best top laners, or some of the best top laners in the world, and boy, has he come through. It was hard to pick if there's an MVP for Cloud9 in the group stage. It was hard to choose maybe between Licorice and Jensen, but in the top lane, he was the standout performer with guys like Keen not quite living up to the hype as the best top laner at the tournament. Smeb was good, but I mean, he wasn't fantastic and standing out on KT, mainly because he didn't have to. But Licorice, he played 6 different champions in 7 games. Obviously, some very unique picks when you have the likes of Hecarim and Singed. His Shen taunts against RNG were constantly catching out Uzi, which is something that no one else has really been able to do all year. The Hecarim pick was key in their win over Gen G. They just clearly weren't comfortable playing against that champion. And of course, Singed, which is a pick we saw last year at Worlds that Impact was busting out to a huge amount of success for Cloud9. Well, turns out Licorice can play that guy in the top lane as well. Had some key catches and engages on that against Vitality. The final day for Cloud9 where they went on their incredible run, it was Licorice who was leading the way for them with some fantastic engages, and he just absorbed so much pressure in that top lane, he rarely gets caught out. So what a year for Licorice, joining the starting squad for Cloud9, going to Worlds, getting out of the group of death, and being one of, if not the best performer on Cloud9. Really excited to see what his career and future will be in Cloud9 as a local talent or domestic NA talent. Let's move on to the jungle where we've got, oh my goodness, another Western player in that spot. And a lot of that is because of the last day of action in Group D. It's Broxah for Fnatic, a guy who has gone under the radar for the majority of his time on this roster. And when you have the likes of Caps and Reckless on the team, that's kind of to be expected. But he was far and away the best jungler in the entire group stage, and in their 2 matches against Invictus, he completely outclassed Ning in the jungle. The gold difference and XP at 15 are absolutely nutty. Obviously, his KDA, which has always been insane. This guy never dies. He's never in a bad position where he's getting caught out, or if he is, he's securing something for his team in sacrifice for that. He's played the Xin Zhao and Lee Sin, obviously were key against Invictus, and his early game has just been on point. His pathing is totally unpredictable. No opposing jungler was really able to catch where he was going to be, and that's why these ganks so early on, the level 2s worked so well, combined with Jackie Love screwing up his flash. But other than that, he's got the cleanest Lee Sin in the West, and one of the cleanest, maybe the cleanest. I mean, Karsa probably has some say here, but far and away, him and Svenskeren, although the edge definitely goes to Broxah right now for best Lee Sin in the West. It used to be a meme about NA teams playing that champion and EU teams. But Broxah is breaking that mold. He's had a fantastic tournament for Fnatic and deserving of this all-pro squad spot. We're rolling on to the mid lane where, although they didn't finish first in the group, I think you can say that Rookie has lived up to the hype in the mid lane for Invictus. He's been coveted as the best mid laner coming into this tournament. Most top 20 lists, including us, had him at worst at 2. He's definitely in the top 2 or 3 for players at this entire event. And even though they went 0-2 against Fnatic on the final day, Rookie was fantastic in both those games. And I know in all 3 matchups against Caps, which was the marquee matchup to watch in this group and one of them at this tournament, he got counter matchups. He was able to counterpick Caps in all 3 of them, and that's why that CSD at 15 is a little bit lopsided because, I mean, he got favorable matchups, but I mean, kudos to him because he completely destroyed in most of those matchups. You could maybe argue in that LeBlanc game in the tiebreaker, he should have carried his early lead even further, and there was that one play where he gets a little bit too over-aggressive and distorts into 5 Fnatic members. He eventually gets caught out, and that's kind of where Fnatic start taking over the game. But you got to imagine he just felt like he had to make plays like this to completely carry IG in this game because Broxa was snowballing the bottom lane and completely outclassing Ning. So obviously, Rookie tried to do a little bit too much in that regard, but overall, through the entire group stage, he's dominated the laning phase and been the carry threat for Invictus. Really excited to see that matchup against UCal in the quarterfinals, who probably, along with Jensen, was the second best performing mid laner in the group stage. So that's going to be a fantastic matchup in that group stage. Moving on to the bottom lane, AD carry, you would think immediately you just throw Uzi in there. And yeah, you probably could make that argument, but for the standard that he set in 2018, I don't think he quite stood out to that level in the group stage, especially because his team actually looked mortal and were one game away from not even finishing in that top spot. So we're giving the honors to IBoy in EDG, and you might say, well, that makes no sense because RNG still finished first. EDG finished second in their group, but they did take a win against KT, and man, IBoy has had some fantastic performances in the group stage. He is so incredibly aggressive. The LPL blood definitely flows through this young man's veins. Don't forget, he's only 18 years old. I mean, he burst onto the scene at last year's Worlds at 17 at that point. Well, now another year under his belt, and he has truly showcased that he can be a premier carry, not just in the LPL, but worldwide. This guy's mechanics are on another level, and I think so far you've seen his aggression, you know, it's been tempered and at the right time. It's basically, I forget who said this, either Mark or I. He is like Wild Turtle if you're on steroids. If he's on steroids, because Wild Turtle will be aggressive, and at times he looks like a fool, at times he looks like a genius. Well, more often than not, IBoy just completely changes a team fight, and when this guy is ahead, it's hard to beat EDG, because in these mid to late game team fights, he is just so unexpectedly aggressive that he constantly catches opposing teams off guard and can completely swing a team fight around. There's maybe been no absolutely insane AD carry performances. I mean, there's tons of guys near the top. You could make arguments for Deft. You could make them for Uzi, like I said. But we went with IBoy in that bottom lane, and I think he deserves that spot in the group stage. Let's go to the support role where, by the way, 4/5 of the All-Pro team, we don't have a Korean player yet. That changes to the support role. We've got the man who's looking for his second Worlds title. Last time it was in Korea 4 years ago, and he's looking to come back for that title. It's Mata for KT Rolster. He's, I mean, highly regarded as the second best player of all time, right beside Faker, although Uzi is in a pretty serious case right now, but Mata is a top 3 player, the best support in the history of League of Legends. That KDA has been disgusting in the group stage. He's been known throughout his entire career for perfect macro, and his vision control, as you can see in the group stage, has been fantastic. He's the key engage and playmaker getting things started for this KT squad, and at times he'll just make an absolutely mesmerizing play that's incredible. He's had a few of those in the group stage. He is the mastermind, the brains behind KT Rolster, who are favorites, or top 2 favorites to take home the entire event. Obviously, he's still got pretty insane mechanics on a lot of these champions. That Gragas ultimate pretty much turned around this entire game in the favor of KT. And, I mean, his Alistar is pretty much must ban, as we've seen in previous iterations of World Championships, but Mata deserving of this All-Pro spot in the support role for KT. And frankly, Surprised there's not more KT guys on here. UCal and Deft, again, you could make cases for. There's really, I think outside of Broxa and Licorice, really, in that top and jungle lane, you could really make arguments for 3 or 4 guys in the other all-pro positions. But these are the guys who we settled on. It's Mata coming in at support as only the one Korean on the squad, which is just a testament to how close and competitive Worlds 2018 has been so far.